If you want to put your name in just to be safe, you can do that. But we should be good. Hopefully my little attendance thing works real well. So let's do it. What I wanted to hopefully get done today was answer any questions that you might have about the final. I sent out the review, I believe it was like Thursday or Friday, with the solutions. And at least the solutions got posted this weekend. And just wanted to see if there's anything that you wanted to go over, any questions that you might have about that. Doesn't have to be today necessarily. I'll hold office hours tomorrow as well, ahead of our final on Wednesday. And just some things just so that they're super clear. You have to log in during your scheduled class period. Because you won't have the test before that. I'm going to send it out 1 minute prior to the start of class, so 10:24 you'll get it, and you'll have all of class to get it done. It'll just be a multiple choice online. You'll have your cameras on, so I can do my best to keep things as on the up and up as possible, according to CU. But I think you'll do just fine. You'll probably want to make sure that you send me any of the side work that you do in order to find the solutions, even for the simple ones. Perhaps it'll only take a couple steps. Anything that you can send me in case you get something wrong would be good. And you'll just upload that right to Canvas. There's already, I think, a spot on Canvas for the final exam, just as an assignment, and then you can just upload it right to there. You certainly don't have things to do for every single question, but you might write something down. Anything to find some partial credit, because if you get the question wrong and you don't show me anything, then I can't give you. So you want to be able to give yourself every chance to do well. And I think if you have done all those review problems and you understand how to do them, you checked your solutions against mine and you're feeling really good about it, you'll do great. Like, this is definitely a test that 95s and above, very, very possible for most of us, if not everybody. But if you only go into this having done some of the review or half of it or none of it all, you might be behind a little bit, because 14 questions in 50 minutes, you've got about 3 minutes per question, which is plenty of time. But not if you don't know what you're doing. So as simple as these ideas might be, there are 14 different ideas that do get tested on this final. So you want to make sure you're comfortable with everything. You want to have your notes out and organized and a calculator ready to go, and you don't want to be kind of fumbling around in the middle of the test to get yourself ready. So use that time in between third period and now to kind of have stuff ready to go. And kind of go from there. So if you do have questions, I'd love to stick around and help you with that. If you just want to kind of sit and work because you haven't done the review yet, or you haven't finished it, and you just want to have a place where other people are kind of doing the same thing, you can do that too. But knowing that we have a lot, you and I have a lot of live streaming that we're going to be doing starting Thursday and kind of running through the end of the semester. I want to give you today as one of the days where you don't have to stick around if you don't think you need to. Okay, give your eyes a break for this next 45 minutes or so, and log off if you don't have any questions. Okay, so you're here. I took your attendance because here you are, and I'm recording. So you are present for the day. Tomorrow, I will probably just put something on Canvas, like that Google form that I used to use to take attendance before they had the button on Infinite Campus, because now they don't anymore. I believe since we're fully remote, you can no longer take your own attendance. That's kind of up to your teacher's discretion as to what they think is enough for your attendance for that day. And so just kind of keep an eye on Canvas as we go, so you know what those look like on your Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays. But for today, you're good. Okay, so if you have questions and want to stick around, or you just want to sit and do some work in the kind of a math universe, then I'm here. But if you're good and you are ready for Wednesday, you're good to go. Okay, so see ya if you're gone. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And I will see you Wednesday, live, in person, virtually. Cameras on, ready to go for our final. Cool.
Thanks, Rosie.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for I'll be on tomorrow for office hours in case you need me. But if you're good today, then you're probably good tomorrow. But just in case, I'll be there. But otherwise, I will see you on Wednesday. See you guys. Thanks.
I have a question.
Hey, what's up, Grace?
Like I did the review and everything was fine except for 20, and I'm not sure why. I think it was just the horizontal asymptote that I didn't get.
Okay, let me take a look. I think my solutions were good. I tried to double and triple check them just to make sure they were correct. Let me pull them up. Okay, so let me pull up the review first. Okay, number 20. Okay, find any vertical and horizontal or oblique asymptotes for the given functions. And you're looking at number 20?
Yes.
Okay, so because the degree on top is larger than the degree on bottom, right? Because the top is quadratic, the bottom's just linear. We don't have a horizontal asymptote. We only have an oblique asymptote. Remember, because like vertical asymptotes are just those lines that we just can't cross, right? But the horizontal or the horizontal or the oblique asymptotes, that's just end behavior. Like, where are my arrows on the left and the right going to be pointing? Give me a target to shoot for. It's only going to either have a horizontal one or an oblique one. And the only time we can have an oblique asymptote is like number 20, where the degree on top is larger than the degree on bottom. And if that's the case, the only way to find that oblique asymptote is to actually divide, right? And so here, let me share my screen real quick so I can pull up those solutions. We can kind of look at them together. Is it doing it? Yeah, cool. So for number 20, right, we've got quadratic on top, linear on the bottom. And so I don't have a horizontal asymptote in that case. I have an oblique one, or a slant asymptote in that spot. And so when I try to figure out what I've got, right, horizontal asymptote for 17, 18, and 19, but not for 20. We have an oblique one. And there's two ways you could approach that. You could either go the long division route, where you actually just divide by whatever it is, the top on the inside and the bottom on the outside. Or you do synthetic division, where you use the coefficients, right? 1x squared minus 2x plus 1, and then the 0 from that denominator, right? So x plus 1, okay, I'll use -1 because that's what would make 0. And either way, the results from division, so the coefficients of your quotient, that's your oblique asymptote. So the 1 and the -3, that's because it was quadratic. We dropped down 1 degree, so it's going to be linear. So there's 1x minus 3 with a remainder of 4, or there's my x minus 3 right there. Either way, y equals x minus 3 is what that would look like. And I mean, the nice part about whatever you do to find your asymptotes, you should be able to prove that to yourself by actually dividing. Maybe just look at the graph and you just graph it. You can kind of see, right, as we get closer to the edges, these blue and red curves get closer to each other, right? The red function itself and then the blue asymptote. And if you did something wrong, you'd see, like if you put x minus 2 instead of x minus 3, you did some calculation error. you can see that this is obviously not going to work. It cuts right through it right there, and they start getting further and further apart rather than closer and closer together. So you always have the visual side of things to kind of back things up. But there's the work. Do one or the other if that's the situation that comes up, right? But this is only if you have degree on top larger. If your degrees are the same, or if the degree on top is smaller, then you'll just have what you had for 17, 18, or 19, right? You'll just have a vertical asymptote perhaps. But you'll definitely have a horizontal asymptote in those cases. Okay, you don't have to have a vertical one, right? Because you might not have, it could be x squared plus 5. There's no real number that's going to make that 0, x squared plus 5, right? But you'll definitely have a horizontal asymptote if the degrees are the same or if the degree on top is smaller. But with 20, the degree on top is larger, so we just had a little extra work that we needed to do.
Got it. Thank you so much. So it's safe to say that if you see the degree on top is larger than the bottom, we just know that there's no horizontal asymptote and we're looking for the oblique. Okay, thank you.
You got it.
I had another question, and I was just wondering on problems 11 through 13, I think, which were about the vertexes. Did you structure your answer the way you did just because, that's how it's laid out on the test? Okay, cool.
Man, huh? Yeah, obviously we would never really write it like that. If I said find the vertex, you'd just write it as a point, but wording is a little odd, so I wanted to make sure that my solutions match that. Because it really is, you're going to find the right answer, but picking the right selection is really paying close attention to the words. Did they say minimum or did they say maximum? Right? And did they put the X value in the right spot and the Y value, or did they switch them on purpose to try to confuse you, right? With these multiple choice tests, usually the common mistakes that people make are the other possible answers, right? That's how they design multiple choice questions so that they can see how closely you're paying attention. So that's really that question. It's not going to be very difficult if you can do 11, 12, or 13, and you can pick out those right words and put the numbers in the right order, you'll be just fine.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a question about 4B. I don't know what happened. I got a completely wrong answer, and I don't know why.
Okay. Let's see. So for the original slope was 1. So since we're doing perpendicular, we want to do 2 things to that slope, right? We want to flip it, and we want to switch the sign. And so it was positive, so we'll make it negative. But when you flip a fraction like 1 over 1, it's still 1 over 1. So did you get a slope to be -1 for that one? Did you get something else? Because if you got something else, that's probably what's throwing off.
I think I turned it into 1/2 for some reason.
Yeah. So it's the oversimplified types of questions are sometimes the ones that throw us off the most, right?
Yeah.
Like when I'm snowboarding, the most dangerous part is when I'm standing still. That's probably when I'm going to fall down, right? Which doesn't make sense. But so I think if you recognize that a whole number like 2, you flip upside down, we'll make it 1/2, or 3, flip it, we'll make it 1/3. But 1 flipped is still 1. So that's probably what threw you off a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
So I was just wondering what time I should come in to do the test tomorrow.
So that's whatever works for you. I'm flexible. I know you've got some stuff going on, so I want to make it kind of work around your schedule. Is there a time that works for you? I mean, the thing that would be best is that if we didn't necessarily do it during class. I think that it would just be probably easiest if we picked a time outside